Hi, I'm Jack Buffington for robotbrigade.com. This is a video in my series of videos about a mapping robot that I'm working on. And in this video I'm going to talk about the mechanical portions of what's going on in this robot. For those of you who haven't seen the intro video, this is the robot right here. And I originally modeled this in SolidWorks, but have ported it over to working with a CAD package called Onshape, which you can access for free on the internet from any browser or even in your cell phone. So that's a wonderful thing, and I think it'll open up this project to many more people who wouldn't have had access to SolidWorks. So let's switch over to the computer and take a look at what we've got there. Okay, here I am in Onshape, and I have the model of my robot. The nice thing about Onshape is that it's completely online. So I'm just doing this right here inside of, I'm currently in Chrome, but you can be in any other browser. I have a coworker who uses it, and he's told me, yes, I've actually been working on work models from my bed in my cell phone. So this is a great package to use. It's not quite up there for 2D drawings, as I understand, but I don't personally use those, so it's wonderful for me. Another nice thing about Onshape, I'll just bring this up right now. This model here, the Raspberry Pi model, and the model of the battery, I didn't model them, I just searched for them and inserted them. Somebody had already modeled them, and it's wonderful to be able to just bring something in. So the construction of this is pretty simple. I've got 3 layers of 1/4 inch acrylic here, here, and here, and they are separated by standoffs, and I don't have them modeled in, but there are machine screws holding the acrylic to the standoffs. This provides quite a lot of rigidity, and it is sufficiently sized to allow for a Raspberry Pi, as well as a microcontroller board, and then way back here we have a H-bridge board. This whole thing's powered by a DeWalt battery. I was looking for different batteries when I started in on this project, and I was thinking I'd just use something I could get from a battery supplier, but in the end it turned out that I could get a much better deal by just using a DeWalt battery. And originally I had found a battery holder that someone had designed on Thingiverse, and they also produced a little circuit board, but since then I have found a battery holder that you can just buy on Amazon and have it here in a day. So that's actually what I've spec'd out. As a companion to this video, I have a bill of materials that has all of the electronics and all of the mechanical parts and where you get them and how much it costs. I won't go into those details here. So the LiDAR light, this is a LiDAR light. It's just a rough approximation of the shape. Its cable comes down and goes through this hole right here. So let's talk about this. Here is a custom part. I've 3D printed it at my house. You could also contract out to a 3D printing manufacturer. It's relatively inexpensive to do things like that. This houses an OLED display, and I'm just going to hide this. It's held on by these 2 holes, and the cables go down through this one as well. Just going to hide a few more things here. I will say that with this battery holder right here, it has some wires. It's nice that I can just buy it on Amazon, but the wires are actually pretty stiff on it, and so I actually took it apart and removed the wires and put my own on that were I've heard of it called spaghetti wire. I'm not sure what the official name is. I just happen to have some of it in the closet, so I use that. Alright, so the layout is pretty simple. I'm using a swivel caster from a office chair, I assume. I bought these on Amazon. You get 4 in a box. I've been trying to keep the costs down on this, so rather than going with a nice Maxon motor or something like that, I have found some motors. I believe the source was DF Robot. I have that in my bill of materials, but all total this is about $7. It has an encoder, a motor, and a gearbox all together, and it works with tires that you can just buy online. I have a machined motor mount, but I have subsequently found something that you can buy right off the shelf. I think it's Pulau sells it, but I can't remember for sure. But again, I have that in my bill of materials. Otherwise, this is pretty straightforward. We just have some holes for mounting the various boards. I currently, in my robot, have a kind of a mess of wires in here that could use some taming, so it might be good for you to put in some zip tie holes so that you can zip tie these wires down. That's not something that I've done at this point. Other than that, that's it for mechanical. I will go over the bill of materials in another video. So for robotbrigade.com, I'm Jack Buffington.